tried to ask an American like if he understood, and he said, if you say it in a sentence, maybe we will understand, but we don't use that. So it's only Japan. My main hobbies are riding my bike and mountain climbing. So I like going to the mountains near Tokyo every weekend or so. I try to go, but now it's kind of cold and I'm not very good with cold weather, so I try to stay home and read books. The hardest was Oyama so far. It is in the south of Tokyo, I think, and it is over 1,000 meters. But the mountain I like the most is Jinbasan. It is not very famous, but it's the most interesting one. It has a lot of ways to go up, and that's what I like it. I always think about that, but I never had the chance so far, and I never felt prepared enough. So that's why I try to go slow and try to go in as many mountains as I can, and then maybe next year I'll try. I speak Portuguese is my native language. I speak English as my second language. Spanish, because it's very close to Portuguese and I had many opportunities to learn with friends. Japanese, I've been studying for some years now. I don't know if I'm fluent, but I like to think that it's good enough. And I've been learning Italian lately. I'm from Brazil, as I said, specifically from São Paulo. It's not the city of São Paulo. São Paulo is like a big capital, but I live from more of a inaka side of São Paulo. So I always like to remember my parents' house because because it's kind of in the countryside. It is a big house. It has a big garden, and I used to spend my days reading books in the garden, looking at the nature, and we had small trees apple trees, orange trees. So it was a kind of a place where I felt very relaxed, and it is my most fond memory of Brazil, maybe. I actually came to study. My first connection to Japan was when I was younger, but when I was in my university, I was studying the Society of Jesus, the Jesus Kai, and I learned that they came to Japan, and then I started studying that, and then I decided to deepen my research and go further and start learning the language and everything. So I had some opportunities during my graduation to come to Japan and further my studies, and now I'm doing my master's degree here in that subject. I study they call Kirishita, which is the Japanese communities that were converted by the missionaries here, and they grew up a lot during the Sengoku Jidai, the Sengoku era. So I study how they worked and how they connected with each other, and how they related to their faith. So it's not my favorite, but I've been hearing it a lot lately in my classes and everything, and I kind of got interested in it because the expression is pura suarva, because it's an expression that uses both English and a Greek letter, so it's English and Greek, but it only works in Japanese, right? Because if you say plus alpha in English or in Greek, I don't know, but no one is going to understand. Only the Japanese use it like that. And it was originally, I think, from maths. It came from the alpha used in maths, but lately people have been using it in other kinds of contexts, right? Talking about, I don't know, it's like a sarani. It's interesting how it works only in Japanese, right? So one thing that I've learned while teaching many students before is also during my life, like one of the most things, the most important things that students find in teachers is not what they are teaching, but how they are teaching. For example, if you ask someone what was your favorite subject during school, they will say like maths or history or something. And if you ask why, they'll say, oh, because I had a very nice teacher or something like that, right? So we don't remember kind of exactly what he taught us, but we remember what kind of a person he was. So that kind of like human connection and trying to engage the student and trying to make what you are teaching interesting to him specifically, like try to understand like what are the needs of that student, like what does he like, what does he is used to, what is his hobby and everything else, and try to use that as a tool to connect with him and make the knowledge like a secondary thing. It comes naturally in this way. Like if you try to force everything and turn into rules everything, it gets kind of katai. So when you try to connect with the person and then use the knowledge, I think it's more interesting.